So now we will see the sample intranet work breakdown structure organized by the project perspective. The intranet project work breakdown structure, which is organized on the basis of product, will be the website design, the home page design, the marketing pages and the sales pages. So each website design will contain the sitemap, the graphic design and the programs. Similarly, the home page design will contain the text, the images and the hyperlinks. The marketing pages will include the text, the images and the hyperlinks. And the sales pages will contain the text, the images and the hyperlinks. So, we have another sample intranet work breakdown structure organized on the basis of the project phases. So as we all can see, the intranet project is organized by phases of the project are the concept, the website design, the website development, roll out and the support. The concept phase will contain the sub-tasks related to this particular phase are evaluate the current system, define the set of requirements, define the specific functionality, the deadline, risks and risk management approach, the development of project plan and a brief web development team. Similarly, at level 3, we decomposed the define requirements task into define the user requirements, define the content requirements, define the system requirements and define the server owner requirements. So every related task will be decomposed into set of smaller and manageable units at different levels starting from level 1 and proceeding towards level 4. So what approaches we will consider in order to develop a work breakdown structure? Number 1, you must have to use some set of guidelines. Some organizations like the DoD provides the guidelines for preparing the work breakdown structures. So basically these are set of those standards or rules or guidelines which will be provided by some organizations in order to prepare an effective work breakdown structure. The next approach in order to develop the work breakdown structure is the analogy approach. In this approach, we have to review the work breakdown structure of the similar project and tailor to your project. Review the similar projects and map those concepts to your project. This is basically the analogy approach to develop a work breakdown structure. Similarly, we have the third approach, which is called the top-down approach, and it starts with the largest item of the projects and break them down into smaller ones. You have to start from the major and larger tasks and units of the projects and continue to decompose them into smaller and manageable units approaching to the lower layers of the work breakdown structure. The fourth approach is basically the bottom-up approach, which starts with the specific tasks and roll them up. So the direction we will follow is basically the bottom-up approach, in which we will continue from the set of tasks at the lower level, and by combining those set of tasks we will get some milestones, and these milestones will lead us to the objective of that particular project. So next we have the mind mapping approach. The mind mapping approach is basically a technique that you can use while using the branches radiating out from a core idea to structure the thoughts and the ideas. This is Same like we can say the brainstorming, in which you will generate different thoughts and effective ideas radiating out from the core idea. So this is basically the sample mind mapping approach for creating a work breakdown structure. We have an IT upgrade project. For this project, we have the idea number 1, that we have to manage the project. Then we have to upgrade the inventory. To upgrade the inventory, we have to perform the physical inventory and we have to update the databases. In order to perform the physical inventory, we have the building B and building C and building A as well. Next we have to install the hardware and the software, and we need to acquire the hardware and the software related to the servers and the users' hardwares. And user hardware is based on laptops and desktops. The work breakdown dictionary and the scope baseline. Many work breakdown structure tasks are vague and must be explained more so people know what to do and can estimate how long it will take and what it will cost to do the work. So, many of the tasks presented in the WBS are unclear, so they must be presented in a way that they should explain more, so people can understand and know that what they have to do, and clearly they can estimate that how long it will take to complete some certain activity and what cost it will take to perform a certain activity. So basically a work breakdown structure is also considered under the planning, the scheduling, the estimation and the duration estimation processes as well. A work breakdown dictionary is a document that describes the detailed information about each work breakdown structure item. So it is basically a document which is called WBS dictionary, which contains the detailed information of each item of the work breakdown structure. So basically in this document we will describe every item of the WBS in detail. So the approved project scope statement and the WBS and the WBS dictionary can be used from the scope baseline here to measure the performance in meeting the project scope goals. So this project scope statement and the WBS dictionary plus the WBS from the scope baseline can be used as a measure to judge the performance to see that the project is meeting the scope goals or not. So, for example, the work breakdown dictionary sample item is presented. In this particular WBS dictionary, this entry is of March 20. The project title is Information Technology Upgrade Project, and the WBS item which we will consider under this dictionary is the work breakdown structure item number 2.2, and the item name is basically update database. And this particular section, which is called the description section, we will describe this particular work breakdown structure item in detail. The fourth process that we will consider is basically verifying the scope. It is very difficult to create a good scope statement and work breakdown structure for a project. In order to create a good scope statement and a work breakdown structure, it is difficult activity to perform, because on the basis of this particular scope statement and work breakdown structure, several other activities and estimations and scheduling processes will be implemented. It is even more difficult to verify the project scopes and minimize scope changes. So, again, it is difficult to verify the project scope and minimize the scope changes. In order to have the effective scope statement and the correct scope statement, it is difficult to verify the scope statement and minimize the type of changes we will perform in this particular scope. So basically, scope verification involves the formal acceptance of the completed project scope by the stakeholders. It's very simple to perform the verification of the scope, you need a formal acceptance from all of your stakeholders for a completed project scope. So in order to build and manage a complete project, it is necessary to have a verified scope statement. So the scope verification will be done by the different stakeholders of the project. So the acceptance is often achieved by the customer inspection and the sign off on the key deliverables. So how you can achieve the acceptance is basically done by the customer inspection or verification process, and then finally they will sign off the key deliverables, which will be considered as the work involved in that particular project. So basically, verifying scope is not a simple task. So who does the verification? The stakeholders of the project will perform the scope verification.